Welcome to Dirty AF, the podcast where we get down and dirty with dirt track racer Jason Brandes and his race crew. We'll go over highlights, lowlights, and everything in between. Sometimes you'll laugh, sometimes you'll cry, and there might even be times where you get downright angry with us. But in every episode, we hope that you are left with the desire to join us in getting dirty as... All right, hello, and welcome to the second episode of Dirty AF. I am your host, Nicole Wilson, and it is the evening of June 18th, 2021, and I am sitting here tonight after the Friday night races at Gravity Park with Jason Brandes and Adam Eichmeyer. So, boys, how'd you feel about tonight?
The car was good. Watching the video afterwards and the live feed that goes on Facebook, the car seemed pretty fast for being on 6 cylinders, I guess. Feature, a lot of driver error there. I made some mistakes. We had some other things in front of us that I wasn't sure what was going to happen, how it was going to happen.
Yeah, it looked like there was a lot of times where there was just a lot of traffic and the guys coming out of the corner couldn't get their grip and other guys were checking and it was taking your momentum. And
Yeah.
It kind of kept you in that pack is from what I saw.
Right. The hardest part for me was you feel the car hook up and you feel it launch, and then all of a sudden you got to back out of the throttle again anyway because there's three people in front of you beating on each other. You don't want to know, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you don't want to get involved in the middle of it.
I don't want to be in the middle of that. We lacked some rear bite, but car handled good. I made 2 mistakes the entire race. One, I seen a hole and I drove the car a lot harder. Both out again. Wrecked 2 tires and a rim. All in all, just a rough ride. It was a rough night.
And what, the heat you got third?
Second in the heat.
Second. But
Yeah.
Third was last week.
Yeah, second in the heat. I don't even know what we finished.
I don't either because with you
I
coming
don't-
off and changing tires and
I
you
don't-
made it back on before the caution
Yeah,
was
but
up.
I don't even believe
But-
we were top 10 today.
But there's a couple guys that came off, so I don't know. I mean, I don't even know I don't know where we ended up at all right now, just because there was just so many different people in different places. So I don't know.
Right.
But
I know I struggled after that restart, and I probably started driving the car a lot more hot-headed than I usually would. I was struggling with a car in front of me that just, you get a good run on him, and then he gets all squirrely loose. And
well, it don't help when I came in here to grab a tire after you lost that left front, and I just
didn't know which one to grab.
Well, at first I thought you had just your left rear was down. Well, I knew I had the exact tire I needed for you for the left rear. I knew what was going on in the car if that happened.
Right.
But then when the left front was kind of like, oh shit, and I just ran in here, grabbed the tire. Well, the tire I grabbed was quite a bit smaller than the right, so your whole front end went from an inch of stagger to like 2.5 inches of stagger. So, well, that also makes it hard to keep the rear end of the car underneath the car when the thing wants to turn that hard.
Well, when it wants to turn left, it definitely wanted to turn left, that's for sure.
When did you realize it was the 2 tires?
When he started coming up and I gave Chunky the rear and I go, I'm going to get the front. And I just took off running for the trailer to grab the front.
Yeah, because there was another race team that came up right away.
Yeah, they brought their
used their
jack and they took the tire off. And he had the tire off. He pulled the tire off just as I got there with the other one. We slapped it on and away we went. So, we managed.
That was pretty nice of them too. I see that guy come running over with his jack, and
I'm well, and that's kind of what it is. It's no different than last year when we had that brake caliper. That guy came over with his wrench and he opened up the breather and unlocked
freed it up,
and away we went.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it's about. That's part of the race family that goes on around here, and not everybody's, in it for themselves. They're in it for the whole sport, and that's part of the nice part about the race.
That is a big part of it. It's not about this guy or that guy. It's it's one big happy place, and most guys are willing to help other guys out. Mm-hmm. Some guys are more content. They're more about, oh no, I'm here to win every week and whatever. I mean, would we like to win one once? We sure would, but we're still rookies at this.
Yeah.
We're learning.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
So, yeah, I know tonight, right now, you're not feeling the whole racing at the hill tomorrow, but I don't know. To me, it's kind of one of them things, get back on the horse and let's see what we can do.
It's just, you know, a guy gets frustrated after a rough night of racing and doesn't make him really want to go through it again the next day. You know what I mean? Like,
but it's kind of the way they get the monkey off the back and shake it off for next Friday too. Otherwise,
agreed.
Are you carrying it along?
Agreed. But even the last time we went to the hill, though, we held our own there, but we weren't real good there either. So
it was also the first time we were there. So
yeah,
you know how to drive your track a little better now after you put 28 laps there versus.
Well, I'm sure I do.
Driving 8 laps there the first time, first go around. I mean, it couldn't have been too bad. I mean, we went straight to the main without having to go through the B main. So
that's the point. I mean,
for the first time being there,
apparently, I'm a decent enough driver where I can go show up at a track unknown and never raced it before in my life and make the show right out of the box, I guess. But we'll see what tomorrow morning brings.
Yeah,
I'll let you know how I feel in the morning.
Yeah, I'll have to do some tire.
We're down 2 tires. We're down a rim. Just kind of settle out a little bit
and see where it takes us tomorrow when we wake up. And
right.
Tomorrow.
I love that. I love that track up there, though. It's a fun little track. We had a blast when we were up there last time.
It's a cool little track, and to me, I know it's quite a haul to go there, but
it's something. But it's something different, and yeah, I mean, you think about it. We go up there and they ran all these heat races, a B main, A main. I mean, races started at 6. What, by 9:45 we were all done?
I was gonna say, I think we had the car on a trailer by 9:15. I think.
Yeah. So I mean, to me,
they moved the show along. I mean, it's a good place to run. It's fun. I mean, for my first time being there, I had a riot. I've never raced on a track like that before. That was great. Yeah. No straightaway involved. Just hang on to it. It's a good time.
It was fun to watch too because we didn't go sit in the grandstands. We just went right up. We were right up to the track.
Right.
It was nice.
Yeah.
It's always a good time doing that.
Yeah.
But, like I said, a little change of scenery too, because that's a different competition and different guys and the guys that here that might rub you the wrong way more than
just there's a couple guys here that rub me the wrong way,
but when you go up there, there's no number or name associated with anybody, and you kind of just go there and run.
You just go up there and run.
You don't have to have that. Right. Oh my God, he's starting behind me. Is he going to wreck me on turn 1 or turn 2? Or it's kind of nice to be able to go out there and just run your race and not have that. Oh, he starts behind me. He starts inside.
Right.
Me,
I agree. I agree. I mean, you're right. That is the difference about it. I mean, it's nice to show up somewhere where nobody knows you and you don't know nobody, and then that's kind of how I think maybe we built some fans. I mean, they're like, "Whoa, where'd that guy come from?" Here at Gravity, we got people calling us cheaters in the grandstands. Cheating. Christ, I probably got one of the cheapest motors out on this freaking track, and I found a way to compete with it. That's the important thing. You don't need a big motor to win races.
Yeah, and that's why do they consider us cheating? Why?
Yeah,
because we're faster than we were last year. Because we learned something, and put it to because I can actually get the car to actually drive on the track instead of spin its tires all the time.
Right, or maybe it's because we went different routes than other people have, or people maybe don't know that we can do. For instance, like. You go from a turbo 350 to a forward glide. The weight difference in them alone is like 103 pounds, I believe. Then you go to the smaller, lightweight torque converter, which is legal in our class. There goes another 12 pounds. Yeah.
The rear end gears we changed, and
you go from a GM stock GM, a stock GM with a lock body. 8.5 inch with 373s in it, but now we're running a Ford 9 inch, and That's why this whole car has been a learning curve for us too. You know, and besides blowing the thing up the first week, this is the worst night we've had.
But we still finished the race.
But we still finished another race.
That's
Even with the
important.
flat.
Even with 2 flat tires, we still finished the race on the lead lap. That says something about us. That says something about our character. That says something about this race team. That says a lot about a lot of things. We're not here just to drive the car around the track. We're here to be somewhat competitive. We're not saying we're going to win every week. We're not saying we're going to win features. Would it be nice to get a heat race win? Maybe. Sure.
It would be.
It would be. We've been close.
It's close tonight.
We were close a couple of weeks ago, too.
Yep.
I mean, it might happen. We don't know that.
Yep.
All we do is we race what we bring to the track. We work hard all week to make sure we're ready to be here on a Friday. And I mean, Jolly just spent the last hour outside, straightening the car out, putting it back together, just because that's how bad he wants to go race Thunder Hill tomorrow. Me, I'd have drove that thing in the box and it have sat here all week. But Jolly wants to go racing. It's just as much Jolly's car as it is mine. So if Jolly wants to take a race, we're going racing.
I just know if we're going racing, I want to be ready to go racing. So what's the difference if I take the time now when I got the hands to help me, or if I wait till tomorrow and it's just you and me doing it?
Not like you and I have never fixed a car before on our own.
Well, that's kind of how I got ready this week. But,
Well, you know, we both talked about it this week too in the garage doing it. Like we're starting to realize that it's easier and more gets done when you and I do it together with no other interference.
Yeah, because like I say, when we were doing that this week, it was nice because we talked about how we're on the same wavelength. Like we kind of think on the same. Like you and I
Kind of read each other's minds,
I
kind of.
darn near could go to the toolbox and grab the wrench he's going to ask me for a second later because I already know what he's asking me for. So it's kind of nice to be able to do that, and we have a lot of the same visions, and we did have we discussed things, but it's like, well, I thought this, and I thought this, and we kind of looked at it, and it's like, oh, okay, we come together. It not having all the 5 opinions and only having 2, it just makes things a little
Right, it's a lot easier for us to make a decision without everybody else chiming in.
Yeah, because we just do what we
Because
do.
realistically, at the end of the day, it's our car. It's not nobody else's. It's ours. It is what it is. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy the help that we get certain days, but when it comes right straight down to doing what we do, it's a lot easier for you and I to just do what we do.
I think it's funny because when Amanda was watching and you're making the faces and we were setting the valves and you're like, it's like,
Oh yeah, that was good.
and she's like looking at me.
She's
like,
just
how did
looking
you
at
know-
it.
How did you know that's what he wanted? Like, oh, we done this more than once. Like it's just so funny.
Well,
Because he's like, tick. And I'll go tick. And he'd be like, that means the tick wasn't quite long enough. And he did it again. And she just laughed because she couldn't believe that me and him were on that wavelength. And he didn't even have to tell me what he wanted. I just knew by his facial expression.
well, I mean, think about the cam issue we had now. We spent every Wednesday or Thursday resetting valves in that car. Of course, we're going to be on the same wavelength for it. Like that's what we did because we had so many problems with the motor running last year. Clearly, we don't have that problem now. Seems like we have all the bugs worked out of it, and we kind of somewhat got it figured out. Again, we know it's not the fastest motor in the world.
Nope.
But if you get traction and encryption and the car turns, you don't need some big mill to come out here and win.
Like I said, if you are up to it, I'm willing to take the hike to the hill.
I feel
If
like
not,
I feel like we're at like 70-30 right now. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, you've known me for how long? I'm not much to back down from anything, and when I get frustrated, I tend to let me blow it off for a couple hours. We'll see how I feel.
We gotta go dance in the garage yet.
You know we're dancing in the garage yet tonight.
Is there anything else you guys need to do to the car?
Put
Ready
some,
for next week or
Car?
tomorrow?
put some fuel in it.
I got her all fixed up. She's
Put-
ready to roll.
Put some fuel in it.
I might have to do a little tire. I need to put a couple tires on these rims so that I got some spares. But other than that,
Put some gas in it. Put battery charger on it. Let's call it a day.
I mean, I got 4 tires on it, and there's 3 here that still got air in them, so I got spares. Yeah, we get.
I think there's 4 here that still.
There is 4. Yep, you are correct.
We need a tire sponsor. We need somebody to buy us some Hooters.
Yeah. Right.
You hear that out there? Anybody looking to sponsor some tires here? We'll take them.
Jen bought us one this week, and well, look at how that ended up. Come on. Anyway, you set her up good again tonight.
It's another week.
Another week in the books. Don't worry. We ain't going nowhere. We'll be back here next Friday.
All right. That's a wrap for this week. Thank you for listening. I just want to remind you to come next Friday night, Gravity Park in Chilton, Wisconsin. The pit gates open at 3, spectator gates open at 5, and races start at 7. And join us again next week, where we will once again be getting dirty as...
Fuck.
Fuck?
Excellent work.
All right. You have been listening to Dirty AF, the podcast with the Brandis Racing crew. Join us again next week, where we will once again be getting dirty as...